Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a hot minute, but it's been absolutely nuts. It's been crazy. The past few months have been really, I mean, I couldn't get my life together. It was an utter chaos in every area of my life. So it's starting to get balanced back again. So I'm really pleased with that. So I am gonna do a very late June wrap up. Despite the chaos, I did read, so that is at least something good. I'm sorry for the noise if you hear it. I mean, the road is really close and often I wake up during the night and the car's just like blaring like crazy. So this is what I read. Woohoo, yeah. So the first book I read was Daughter of Smoke and Don't. I can't talk. Yeah, it was Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It is a young adult trilogy, and this is the first book in a trilogy, and I did really enjoy it, so I gave it 4 stars. It is definitely an interesting setting. We are following a young girl, Caro, and she is leading a double life basically. She's leading a life as an art student in Prague, but she also fulfills errands for this half monster creature called Brimstone. So she lives half of her life in normal human population, amongst the normal human population, and half of her life amongst these very interesting creatures. So the book reveals everything very slowly, and I really did enjoy that because I couldn't guess who these creatures are, and it was very magical as well, and I really enjoyed it. Also, I mean, this is on the synopsis on the back as well. Brimstone collects teeth from murderers and hunters. So that was very interesting because in no other fantasy have I even read a concept like that. So it was really interesting. I mean, I gave it 4 stars because the insta love again is not my favorite thing. It was explained why it was such a sudden, strong attraction. However, I still didn't quite enjoy that aspect, but I'm definitely going to continue with the series, and I'm really excited, and I know a lot of booktubers love this series, so I'm very excited to continue. So the next trilogy I started with was the Grisha trilogy, and this is book 1, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and I gave this again 4 stars, and I have already finished the second book in a trilogy, which I gave 3 stars. I understand why I put it down so a few years ago. Why I understand why I put this trilogy down, because it's just second book. Oh, but however, first book was very enjoyable, and we follow here a character, Alina, and her country, Ravka, is ravaged by war, and she is a map maker, and also the country suffers from these folds of shadows, of darkness, that obstructs, you know, trading routes, and they are inhabited by these vicious monsters that attack people if they try to cross these shadow folds. So Alina discovers that she has power to summon light. So she is then straight away escorted to the magical elite of the country, Grisha. They're called Grisha. So they have different kind of powers. They can basically manipulate matter. And they can summon. Only Alina can summon the light though, but the other Grisha, they can summon, you know, water, they can control elements, they're fabricators, they can manipulate metals, and things like that. But the most important Grisha that is kind of ruling over them is the Darkling, and he's the one who can control shadow. So and then the story obviously takes off from there. It is quite enjoyable. There are a few twists and turns, and I'm not really fond of Alina as a character. I think she's a little bit whiny. However, yeah, she's a bit like and honestly, I'm not quite okay with people like that. Well, even though sometimes I am like that myself. So, but I still enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I just finished the second book as well, which was in July. But Yeah, I only gave the second book 3 stars, so I understand why I was reluctant to pick up the third book, because the second book was a bit of a letdown and it was dragging for quite a bit. So anyway, but this one, the first one, is 4 stars, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish with the trilogy, obviously. Then the next book I read was Millie Johnson, The Magnificent Miss Mayhew. I kind of needed a fluffy read, something very comforting and something just that makes my heart warm. So and Millie Johnson definitely does that for me. Again, I gave this book 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite book of hers, but it was still very enjoyable. We followed this gorgeous woman who marries a politician, and then the politician cheats on her, and then she basically tells him to go and take a hike, and she just takes off, and then her life, she starts to concentrate on her own goals and on her own things, and from then on sort of everything folds into place. But I just like how Millie Johnson writes this. It just makes me so, it's so heartwarming, and maybe maybe a little bit too cheesy, but sometimes it just need that kind of extremely happy fairy tale-esque book, which basically this fulfilled it for me. So I give this 4 stars. And then I asked my friend, my housemate, to pick a book for me from my bookshelf. I have a bookshelf now. I'm so excited. It's already full of books. So, oh my god, I just like, I can't walk past books and not get books. It's extremely hard. I have issues. I have book issues. I just can't. I love books so much. It's unreal. But anyway, I asked my housemate to pick a book from the bookshelf, and she actually picked a perfect book for the Pride Month, which is I read this book in June as well. So it is Manuel Puig, Kiss of the Spider Woman, and here we follow Melina and Valentin. There are 2 incarcerated men. One of them is a homosexual who sees himself as a woman, so obviously drag queen, and Valentin is a Marxist revolutionary who is in prison because he's obviously trying to fight against the system. I gave this book 3 stars. It was published in 1976, so I can see how it is of its time. But I still thought it was quite impactful, and obviously it's been adapted into a movie and a Broadway show, so it's definitely, its legacy still carries through, and for the Pride Month it was actually a perfect read. The only thing I would say, the footnotes were scientific research on sort of how scientists try to explain homosexuality at very early stages, and it was just very, very dry and, to be honest, quite annoying. Obviously that research, it's not even a research, it's just prejudice, bias and racism, just like but I guess it was, from one point it was quite interesting to read. But the story itself is in a dialogue format, and we follow Melina, who is telling Valentin about her favorite movies. So she is basically just retelling him the movie scripts, the movies itself. So it's quite beautiful, and these 2 individuals trying to find solace in each other in very dire circumstances, so I did enjoy it. However, like, it is of its time, definitely, but I understand how in 1976 it was quite impactful, for sure. So I mean, if you want to read a classic, a vintage, so definitely pick this up. I did give it a 3 stars, but just because of the footnotes, and I think because it's a bit you know, it's of its time. Still, worthwhile read. And then the last one, I wanted to pick up something really quickly so that I am done with it. I'm done with the month, so I read something, so my pile is a little bit higher. I picked up Username Evie by Sugg, and it is a graphic novel, and it's been published in 2015. Here we follow an Evie who is bullied and looked down upon in school, and her father creates this virtual escape program where she can sort of travel to via her computer and then escape the everyday drudgery. It was very basic and it was very juvenile, so I gave it only 2 stars. I'm sorry. I read it in like 20 minutes. I mean, I need some more sustenance. Even in a graphic novel, I need something. I need a better story. There was not much story, and I really didn't like the Evie as well. I thought she was a wet blanket basically. So because I don't know, I wasn't the most popular kid at school as well, but look at me, look how I turned out. I'm not sure that's a good comparison, but hey, whatever. So basically that was my June wrap up. I'm sorry it's been very late, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I am going to be, my next video, unboxing the book box club, and I still have to do my Owls reading wrap up, which I have read but I haven't done because my life was basically thrown into an utter chaos, and hopefully it's calming down now so I can focus on my channel and my few subscribers. But hopefully I can create community, and if you guys wanna, you know, reach out to me, maybe we can do a buddy read, or if you have a YouTube channel, a booktube channel as well, so we can do a buddy read. Or so I will put my favorite booktubers in the list and in the description box below. I've discovered quite a few ones. I love Becca, I love Cody from oh, what was her channel called? But anyway, you know, if you watch booktube, I think probably they're so popular. Becca and Cody and Gavin. Oh my god, Gavin is hilarious. He is so adorable. I fell in love with Gavin, honestly. He's just an adorable booktuber. I just love him. Yeah, and yeah, I'll list those channels down below because they're amazing and I watch them religiously. I love them. So thank you guys for watching, and catch me on my next one.